It's a new week and more drama for AEW. Oh boy. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. I'm your host, Comic with Bob. There's always by my good friend Hollywood Frank.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Oh,
HW, baby.
You can catch us here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, talking about all news and wrestling. You also follow us on social media in the description and crawling below. And, geez, good God, man, this situation in AEW with Ray Phoenix is just getting worse and worse, man. And yeah, we're I don't want to bury the lead, but we're gonna get into it. But then now you got this, stuff with freaking GCW to tack on top of it, and oh my God, free my bro. Man, I feel really bad for Abrahantes, man.
Yeah,
that dude went from being like a cheerleader slash manager for one of the top tag teams in AEW to just like, I don't even know what he's doing now.
Is he doing anything?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what he's doing now, man. That dude's like cooked. He's probably pissed, man. But what's up, Johnny?
He's got Commander and all those other guys and Bandito and stuff.
And Andrade, wait, no.
Nope.
Oh,
did they put him with
I feel it. I don't know. I feel they put all the matches together at some point.
Oh God, dude. Tony's going full WWE, man. Just putting all the Mexican guys together. Good Lord. But you been keeping up on what's been going on, Johnny?
Enough that I can laugh at it.
I'm not laughing at it. I think it's sad, man. It's like
I do too, but since there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, I guess, might as well. I tell you what, man, we're gonna have to talk about this and like what this means for their future, because I'm gonna tell you, Tony needs to get his crap together.
Yep.
But before we do that, just wait a few minutes and let people start slowly filtering in here. And maybe it would have been a good idea if I'd actually shared it out on X.
Mm-hmm.
Let me post that. There we go. Yeah, I'm on the ball tonight. But
you're on something.
Yeah, it's been, geez, dude. It's been a week. But yeah, so I was just kind of digging into like all the different stuff that's being said and talked about this situation, and then looking into like the situation in GCW with this Effie guy, and like, I mean, it's it's like that old saying, man, when it rains it pours, and but it's interesting to see where people think everything started coming off the rails, which we'll talk about that more before just waiting for everybody to slowly filter in here. But real quick, first person who's in there, leg kick, says, "Hail the Wrestling Council! What a rush!" Yeah, buddy. Thanks for being here, leg kick. Appreciate it, man. Big Daddy said, "Hey, yo, what's up, Big Daddy?" The original learning tree.
Hey, yo.
God, I wish we could go back to those days, man. It was something else, man.
It was.
But yeah, it's been an interesting week, man, especially news-wise. A lot of people got a lot of opinions on it. Before we get into that, though, go ahead and hit a little segment, our little favorite segment, a little something we like to call the good, the bad, and the ugly. It is that guy's turn. Well, no, wrong way. That guy. I always forget that my camera's flipped.
I know, I do that too.
Before I do that, I'm gonna put Johnny on the spot. Johnny, give me some GBU, man.
Yeah, you got me down for the count on this one.
Put you on the spot, man. Come on, let me see that. Let me see that humor come out, man. Let's do it.
Man, I got no humor. I got something actually good.
Okay.
Whatever they decided to do with the new day is working. It's working nice.
You know what? It's not the way it didn't go the way I expected to, but it was the person that I said was going to be the catalyst was the catalyst, but it went in a completely different direction. So I ain't mad at it, dude. Man, they came out on Raw last night, and God, man, they were that friggin' crowd was ready to friggin' shoot them.
Day sucks.
New day sucks.
Suck.
Yeah, dude, back to being heels, man. That's what made him. That's what made him famous to begin with. So I ain't mad at it. It works. Hey, and you know that Big E's going to factor into this thing later on. So
yeah.
But I'll tell you what, though, I can't remember who it was that said that if they really want to get the fans pissed, man, have the New Day, because the New Day need a big heavy hitter, right? Ridge Holland.
Oof.
Ooh, yeah. I'll tell you what, though, man, if they announce that, say hello to the newest member of the New Day, Ridge. Oh my God, man. That friggin' the roof would come off that place. The heat, it would make Dom look like an icicle, man. That's how hot it would be.
If he's okay with the vitriol that's gonna come out of that.
Oh yeah, well that's the thing you gotta remember. Like, oh God, because fans were like they went after him, even though Big E came out and said like, look, man, it happens. That's the business, but
yep,
yeah. But all right, Frank, GBU.
Could go a couple different ways.
Pick one.
I could go Continental Classic.
It's been fun,
but I'm actually gonna go to SmackDown, which I thought was I honestly thought was better than Raw this past week.
Yeah, I agree.
I could really care less about the opening match. Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, Elektra Lopez. The best one, Tiffy time. I don't think she'll win the title, but it was nice to see her get the win. But that was the low light of the show. But Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY and Chad Gable versus Cody Rhodes.
Dude, Chad Gable versus Cody Rhodes was awesome. I know some people are upset that Motor City Machine Guns lost so soon. Yeah. But dude, a heel DIY, freaking Gargano making that heel turn. I'm for it, man.
Yeah,
sign me up.
But we've said it before. Chad Gable is like Daniel Bryan, or Bryan so Danielson, underrated. whatever you want to call the guy.
Yeah,
but so underrated. But he can go in that ring no matter who you put him up against.
Dude, and the way he sold that friggin' Crossroads.
Oh yeah,
dude, that took me back to when they had that contest to see who could sell Austin Stunner better over the years, and like they were just like they would like flip themselves out of the friggin' ring, and it's dude, it's perfect.
No one's stopping Vince.
Nope.
No, and I know the shakeup coming because you got Raw going to Netflix in a couple weeks. So they talked about a shakeup where guys can get traded.
Yeah, I'm on the fence. With
Redo
that.
the roster a little bit before Netflix. I know Netflix wants the key guys over there, like the Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, things like that. Are they going to get Cody Rhodes? I don't think so. Just because he's champion, unless they put the belt on Kevin Owens on Saturday night's main event, which starts this Saturday.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that think they are.
Unless they make that move, you're not getting Cody Rhodes on Monday Night Raw. It's just not going to happen.
No.
Will he make a brief appearance here and there? Sure. Is he going to be a mainstay on Raw? No. Like I said, the only exception is if they take the title off of Rhodes on Saturday night.
Well, then, I mean, if they do that, they're still going to have a problem because the immediate response to him losing the title is he's got to have a rematch, right? So if they move him over to Raw, can't do that.
Yeah, and it's
what about Jake? Oh God, dude, this week has been nothing but one drama after the other for AEW.
And I don't like his title run or not. I just think they. Nothing against Kevin Owens, but to take it off and put on Owens, I don't think is the right move if you're going to take the title off of Cody Rhodes.
At this point, I would agree. I think whoever you take that belt off of, because honestly, I don't think they see Kevin Owens as being like a top 5 guy.
No,
I think he's there right now because it works. And they need somebody in between, Cody getting back in there with the bloodline situation again. But I just think this is I think this is filler, to be honest. Good filler, but it's
right.
filler.
But if you're gonna do that, then I just don't think Kevin Owens is your top guy on SmackDown. And if you move Rhodes off of SmackDown, somebody's got to go to SmackDown from Raw to be the guy.
Yeah. The only thing I could see them doing is maybe switching out Gunther for Cody.
Possible.
Yeah. But then if you do that, you've got to shift all the people he's feuding with over there too, unless you're just going to kill it right from the jump.
Yeah. But anyways,
mm-hmm.
Chad Gable versus Cody Rhodes, best match tonight.
Oh, so good
on SmackDown or Raw for WWE this past week.
Yeah, dude, it was the little things too,
weekend and to yesterday, like yesterday's Raw. I'm talking about.
Yeah, like KO coming out wearing a Dusty Rhodes shirt.
Yeah,
that was so awesome, man.
But to me, that was my good. The bad. Where do I go?
Pick one, man.
The bad, the shine, the luster I think is gone from the Wyatt Six.
Yeah.
You got Bo Dallas taking the clean, throwing the powder in his face from Paul Ellering. You got Bo Dallas taking, or Uncle Howdy, whatever you want to call him, taking a pin to lose the match yesterday on Raw. I don't get the Final Testament and Miz. They don't move the needle for me. I think the Y6 could have gone a different direction with another team, but I just think the guild is off the lily with the Y6.
Yeah, and it's something that we were afraid of. It's not something that we were rooting for. It's just I didn't know like how you give a gimmick like that legs. I just didn't see it.
Right. And we talked about it, Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Y6 versus Final Testament in a Survivor Series match, I would have been all for it.
Yep.
teams of 5, like it used to be Strive to Survive. You have the Wyatt 6 versus the Foul Testament. I mean, even if it's just 4, I don't care. But something like that, I think, would have played better with these two teams than what we saw on Raw last night.
Yeah, it's and like we said, there's a lot of good talent in the there's a lot of good talent in the Wyatt 6. But when you have a gimmick like that and you try to present them as faces, I just don't think that it works. Now, if they shift them heel, I think that has a better chance of having a lot more longevity. But at this point, I also think that if they shifted them heel, it doesn't really fit with the narrative that they've been pushing.
Right.
So they've kind of hamstrung themselves from the start. Leg Kick says, ugly. Jake Hager not wanted by Tony Khan. Bad. The Iron Man women's setup. Good. Julio coming out on top. Julio's been doing really well. The Iron Man, that whole Iron Man and women's setup, and that was it just felt kind of weird.
And then my bad. I won't get too in depth in it, but it's the highlight of our story, and it's what this guy is talking about. Free my bro. It's just all the negative stuff that's coming out of AEW, which they don't need.
No, especially not going into a new contract year and everything.
No, it's just
it's not good.
Tony just as he says down there, free my bro. Just let Ray go.
Honestly, at this point though, like I think they're damned if they do, damned if they don't now. I think he should have just bitten his tongue and let him go when his contract was up. Because I think his contract was up like a month after Penta's or supposed to be. Instead of tacking time on, just bite your tongue and let him go. You got no intentions of using him. You're not going to get anything out of it. Just let him go. But now, I also feel like if he lets him go, he's setting a precedent for other people to do the same thing.
Yeah, and to me, you never know. Like, who's the guarantee that things work out for a Lucha Brothers in WWE, and you don't decide down the road, hey, you know what? We want to come back to AEW.
Yeah.
With this whole thing, I'd be like,
well,
forget you, Tony Khan. The way you treated me and my brother, we're never coming back.
Or conversely, if the Lucha Brothers go there and they're like, yeah, this ain't working out, man, and then because they kind of burnt some of their bridges down in Mexico too,
right?
When they jumped ship to AEW, so there was a little bit of that going on too. And then now it's not like there aren't places they could go. They could go to TNA. They could go to New Japan. New Japan would snatch them up in a minute.
There's options out there, but
yeah, it's the kind of thing that's not good for anybody.
This is just making Tony look so. This is making Tony look so bad.
It is,
and it's one of those things where if he sticks to his guns, he looks petty. If he lets him go, he looks weak. So if he lets them go, he cornered himself. Pay them. Like I said, if it had been me, man, right from the start, I'd have bit my tongue and just let him go. You know, you're not going to use them. Either you're not going to use them, or whatever creative you're presenting them, they don't care for.
Yeah.
They're short. They've made it clear that they're not re-signing. Just let them go. Bite your tongue. Swallow your pride a little bit. And
they're like a top two. They're like a top 2 tag team. So they're getting a lot of money, man, for just sitting home now. That's
dude. They were one of the original teams that were signed by AEW.
Yeah, and you've got talent on the AEW roster that, with these two guys not being there, deserve. You got a bloated roster, and until you get a deal done with Ring of Honor, TV deal done, you've got a bloated roster.
They got a lot of people floating around that they can't put on TV. They don't have anywhere near enough people TV time to put everybody on. So yeah, there was no reason to keep them, regardless of how you feel about it, regardless of any of that. And Tony's, as much time as Tony spends on social media, he had to know that this wasn't going to go over well. This was an example of him letting his butthurt ego make a decision that's ultimately got him in a friggin' corner now. Because if he lets him go, he looks weak. If he keeps him, he looks petty. So he needs to just, even now, yeah, it's going to make you look a little weak, but you need to cut your losses and just move on.
Honestly, and I don't even think that WWE would like use them, right? It's not like it would make that big of a difference. No.
Well, it's WWE picked them up. I guarantee you, WWE picked them up because they need some new blood in the tag division, and they're going to put them in. I think the original plan was to put them in NXT and have them work down there a little bit until they got used to the WWE system, and then move them up to the main roster and showcase them in the tag team division, because they need new blood in the tag team division.
Yep.
But you've never been a booker or a managed talent and have your business completely undermined by the competition and marks from day one. No, like I said, man, like that's a valid point. I've never been a booker. I don't know anything. Like, everything that we have is on the outside looking in. All the opinions that we have are on the outside looking in. But on the outside looking in, like I said, somebody like Tony Khan, who spends so much time on social media and puts so much stock into it, right from the jump, he knew this was going to look bad.
A big part of his brand that he was not going to treat people this way.
Right. And that's another thing that people have been bringing up. You said that you guys are going to do things differently than WWE. This is the kind of stuff, especially when it was under Vince.
Yep.
This is the kind of stuff that WWE would do. Now, in the past, Tony has made good on that statement. He let William Regal out of his contract early to go back to WWE.
Yep.
He didn't cause any problems for Andrade when Andrade made the decision that he was going to leave and go back to WWE to be with Charlotte. He did things that way. Now, I 100% agree with the people that say the Lucha Brothers went about their impending departure the wrong way. 100% I agree with that. Okay. But again, when you get into this situation, like this, and you see which way the wind's blowing, especially when you got a whole new contract you're coming up. And that's the thing. And this is why that Maldacito, that situation is why we've said this for a long time. When he lost Cody, he lost his sheriff. Okay. Because I tell you, you can trace all of this. We're going to talk about this more. You can trace all the beginning of these problems back to when Cody left.
Yep.
Cody Rhodes was his sheriff in the locker room. He was the guy that he leaned on to be his backbone, basically, so that he could be the nice guy, and Cody could be that guy that goes in there and kind of like helps keep the peace. When he lost Cody, he didn't replace him with somebody, and he tried to just be the affable guy, and we saw how quickly the cracks started to form with that. And now he's in a situation where he's trying to be tougher, but it's not working out right. So, and in this situation in particular, like I said, there's fault to go around with everybody. With the situation with Conan's podcast, when he was talking shit, because Conan's freaking pissed off at Tony Khan because of what happened with them a couple years ago. the way that they went about it, where they basically, because AEW had plans for them, they had plans for them at All In, they had plans for them in the C2, from what I understand. And then they basically kind of outed the fact that they were leaving, and then they started showing pictures of merchandise that WWE was getting ready for them and everything. That was a slap in the face. So and even Penta at one point kind of acknowledged that they kind of jumped the gun on this and went about it the wrong way. But then the way Tony Khan turned around and he slapped all that time onto Ray and didn't articulate the situation. That was one of the big things. This is one of the few times that Tony Khan should have come out, gone onto one of these podcasts or something like Wrestling Observer or something like that, and explain the situation. At the very least, get your version of the story out there. He didn't do that.
Get someone else to do it for you. Because
again, hire someone to be your sheriff. Okay. Yep. Now that Bryan Danielson has made the decision that he's not going to get the surgery, there's your perfect guy right there. Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe was another guy that would be great in that role. They're both extremely well respected. They both got a lot of currency with other wrestlers. I think they would both be good. They would both be good choices to do that, to kind of step into that Cody Rhodes role.
So is Adam Copeland. He
does, but I don't know if he has the mentality for it.
Right, but he's got a lot of
cachet.
Yeah,
definitely. He's well respected. People, generally people like him. He's got enough. He's not afraid to speak his mind. Conan isn't. Yeah, he's really turned into a friggin' D-bag.
So we're getting
I know. We're bearing it. Yeah.
Still need your GBU.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just coming to think about it,
dude. It's
before we can
so
start
much
his
going
home
on.
too.
Yeah. GBU.
My good. The Continental Classic. The Continental Classic has been a bright spot in AEW with all this stuff that's going on, all the booking issues that we've talked about, just generally all the things that we're hoping, starting with the first of the year, with the move to Max and the new contract and the new money coming in. Hopefully they're going to make some of these changes that people want. They have made a few small changes, like the lighting at the shows. Thank God. Stuff like that. The Continental Classic has been a very welcome distraction in AEW. Some great matches. Great matches. This last week, Kyle Fletcher versus Kazuchika Okada, giving Kyle Fletcher the rub, building a young star is what they're doing. And I personally think they're doing a fantastic job of it. Hopefully they're they're using this to kind of rehab Okada's reputation. I think they need to get Okada and both him and Ospreay into the world title scene and really start, building on what they've got with those guys. But the C2 has been largely great. Right now, Kyle Fletcher is actually in the lead between both leagues. He's got 9 points. Claudio, surprisingly, he's in second place. He's got 6. Claudio's matches have been great too. I haven't seen a bad match in the C2 yet. They've done a really good job with this. Daniel Garcia's got 4 points. Okada's got 4 points. Shelton Benjamin, Mark Briscoe, Darby Allin, Will Ospreay, Ricochet, and Brody King all have 3 points. Beast Mortos and Commander have 0 points. There's 2 great matches coming up this Wednesday. Will Ospreay versus Claudio. That's gonna be a banger. Brody King versus Ricochet. That should be really, really good. And then I think on Collision, we got Okada versus the Beast Mortos. Honestly, I feel bad for Mortos. I don't think he's going to finish with a single point. But so far, I mean, and you got some just great matchups so far, man.
I like Brody King versus Claudio. That was good.
That was dope. It's just two big dudes beating the crap out of each other. But yeah, I appreciate you being here, Mal. I'm sorry, I didn't even acknowledge that you stepped in, bro. I'm sorry about that. But yeah. So for me, and you know me, I'm a tournament guy. It's one of the things I really love about New Japan. New Japan's got 3 of the best tournaments in the professional wrestling business. I'm hoping that if they get this contract for Ring of Honor going, that they'll bring back the Pure tournament, because that was another tournament that I freaking loved. The C2, I think, is the best thing that AEW has put together in years. And it's been like I said, a very welcome distraction. The bad. Ray Phoenix isn't the only problem with AEW right now. GCW's Effie, who's a promo guy for them. And from what I've been seeing, doing a little bit of research into, because I haven't been keeping up on GCW as much as I have other places. He's been kind of a thorn in their side for a while now. Obviously, we know that there's another bit of controversy with Ricky Starks. He hasn't been used on AEW television. The reasoning behind it is, depending on who you ask, one group of people say that he's been refusing all the creative that they've been sending his way. He showed up in GCW and fans were really happy with it, and then all of a sudden, he gets yanked off of it because Effie. Yeah, that's the general consensus I'm getting from a lot of people. And especially GCW fans. GCW fans apparently don't like this dude. Went out there and just started shooting his mouth off about Tony Khan, basically calling him a Nepo baby and all this other stuff. And they pulled him from GCW. They pulled Ricky Starks. I think was it Claudio or somebody else was supposed to make an appearance. They pulled them as well. The only GCW event that they were allowing people to go to was Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, and that's because that's not really a GCW. That's not controlled by GCW. GCW is like promoting it and putting it out there, but that's Josh Barnett's baby. And Josh Barnett is largely liked by everybody. Now, this is a big deal because there's a lot of talent in AEW that like working for GCW. There's guys over there that they like. Moxley has worked in GCW. Like I said, Claudio's been over there before. Pac was over there, has done matches there. And now Matt Cardona is showing up in AEW. So GCW up to that point, they had a good relationship with AEW, and this dude steps in and he just takes a massive crap all over it. And this is one of the pieces of drama I'm firmly in AEW's camp on. They didn't start this crap. This dude's the guy, Effie came out and ran his mouth and basically hamstrung GCW's relationship with AEW. Hopefully they're going to write this thing. He did. I guarantee you that they basically had a talk with him and they told him, hey, you need to walk this back, which apparently he has. But it ain't good. And it's not good for the talent because, one of the things that we said that one of the strengths that AEW had was they let them work with other companies.
Yep.
And GCW was one of those companies that a lot of them like to go and work with. And, this could be an issue. So hopefully, that thing gets, they write that and they tell this Effie dude to shut his mouth. And then the ugly, is just like what we talked about with that Frank touched on. Even more drama between AEW, Tony Khan, and Ray Phoenix. That's going to be our top story with this. I'm not going to bury the lead anymore because we really need to get into it. But the more this stuff comes out, man, the worse and worse and worse it gets. Big Daddy, my good, the Wrestling Council, my bad. Ryan Nemeth. That's a dude. I'm telling you, man. It's just one story after the other, man. My Ugly, the state of the AEW management. Yeah, and I honestly think that the biggest problem with this comes down to either just them not having the right apparatus in place, or just purely incompetence, man.
When you think you won't hear about CM Punk and AEW anymore.
Well, you know what? I think the thing is I think the situation with Punk exposed some of the problems that they have on the management level. I really do think that that's where all this crap started. But yep, that's my GBU.
Yep.
I do want to do another little segment. We haven't done one in a couple of weeks because of we had things going on. One of us wasn't here, but it's time. Let's have some fun here. Let's bring it back up a notch. Let's decide who better than Randy Orton. This is I got some good ones this week, guys. AEW always blames Punk and always talk about it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I think that's a mistake. I think they need to move on from that. But it's kind of hard when other guys like I said, like Ryan Nemeth drags it back up. But, all right, so this week for who better than Randy Orton? Got some classic guys here.
Classic.
Ron Simmons. Simmons.
Damn.
Is Ron Simmons
Damn. Yeah.
Ron Simmons better than Randy Orton?
No.
That was quick.
Yeah. I just thought which one would I miss more, and it's Randy. So
well, think about it this way, man. He was the first black WCW World Champion.
Yep.
The guy has worked for every company in the business. He's do we even need to figure out how many times he was tag team champion?
Guardian, Big Day just fired off Simmons quick. He's like,
oh yeah, Ron Simmons, baby. I knew this would be a good one. Ron, first African American of a major company. Yep, Simmons would murder Randy, but not as much of a draw. Okay, I can see that. I can understand that. I think Ron. Here's the thing, though. If Ron Simmons was in his prime today, with the changes that have happened in the wrestling industry, would he have been big? Would he have been bigger than Randy Orton? You got to think about it, man. Definitely, hands down, one of the greatest tag team champions of all time. Him versus with Doom, and then with the Nation of Domination, and then with the Acolytes, the APA.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys had a massive career, and is still popular to this day. So that's a testament to just how big of a personality he was.
Yeah, Simmons was a game changer in two sports.
Yeah, he was. He was it All-American in football.
I gotta go.
Played for the Browns.
Yeah, I gotta go. Ron Simmons.
You think Ron Simmons is better than Randy Orton?
I think so. Just overall, I mean, if you have Ron Simmons today at his prime right now, yeah, he would murk Randy Orton.
Yeah, I think so too. I gotta go. Like, sorry, Johnny, I gotta go Ron Simmons on this one, man.
You cannot be wrong. It's fine.
Good evening, Miss Saren. Appreciate you being here. Okay, leg kick. Randy Orton or Antonio Inoki? Dude, are you serious? I mean, look, here's the thing. I like Randy Orton. I really do. Inoki changed the game. Inoki was one of the greatest wrestling figures of all time. Okay, he was the Muhammad Ali of wrestling. Okay, Ron, for his OG Farouk gear, it took balls to steal a walk. Dude, that helmet was terrible.
Oh yeah,
dude, that helmet, that dude, and you know what, dude, that just shows you how willing to play ball he was. That friggin' Vince had the prop people put that out there, and he went, all right. Because here's the thing, it's not like anybody was going to talk crap to him about it. Because Ron Simmons was an OG tough guy, man. He'd beat the snot out of you if you disrespected him.
Take notes, Karrion Kross.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, I mean Ron Simmons, like because I was like going through this list of all these old time greats, man. I was like, oh damn, Ron Simmons, yeah. But yeah, I mean, even before he was part of the APA, Ron Simmons was one of a kind, man. All right.
Yeah, come on. Ron wearing that juggernaut helmet. Come on.
That was so bad, man. God, it was so bad. Mr. Self High Five, Diamond Dallas Page. Was Diamond Dallas Page better than Randy Orton?
No.
No.
Got to go with Randy on that one.
You think so?
Yeah.
He was a former WCW World Heavyweight Champion, U.S. Champion, European Champion, WCW World Television Champion, Tag Team Champion. He had he's got a lot of accolades to himself. I think I agree with you guys, but I think it's a big part of it is because he started so late. Because he didn't even become an in-ring performer until what? Like he was like in his mid 30s.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So if he had started earlier, do you think he would have outpaced Randy?
Possibly.
I wouldn't bet on it.
It's kind of hard to say, you know.
Smoking wife though, right?
Oh, him and Kimberly, yeah. Big Daddy agrees with me. Like it's starting his career. Actually, I think he was like in his mid or his late 30s. So, definitely one of those guys that I think and here's the thing, as big of an impact as he did have when he did start his in-ring career, I think what he's done outside of the ring, behind the scenes, I think has been an even bigger with creating DDP Yoga, creating the that outreach program that he's got for all these wrestlers who are have physical distress, drug. The guy single-handedly saved Scott Hall and Jake Roberts' lives. Okay. I think he's kind of like, like we mentioned Tommy Dreamer, about Tommy Dreamer. As much as time as Tommy Dreamer spent in the ring, I think the impact that he's had behind the scenes has been infinitely bigger than what he did in the ring. As a wrestler, I think what he's done behind the scenes was far more important. And Butterbean too, dude. Butterbean actually was a good fight again, dude. Butterbean was like literally like in a wheelchair. And but I think Page has had a massive impact on the quality of life.
He made his in-ring debut at the age of 35.
Yeah,
as a wrestler.
He
was a manager before then.
Yeah, he was a manager.
But didn't step between the ropes as a wrestler till he was 35 years old.
Yeah. So literally like the first 15 years that most people spend like perfecting their craft and everything, he started that. He started way late. But I agree. I think Randy takes him in this, but I honestly think that if he had started earlier, he may have been bigger than Randy. But yeah, that's where I stand on that. All right. Got kind of a tragic one this here. You guys might not know much about this guy, but I guarantee you Maldacito, Big Daddy, and maybe Leg Kick do. Mitsuharu Misawa. So Mitsuharu Misawa is in my opinion maybe the greatest Japanese wrestler of all time. He had an 18-year stint in All Japan, and was one of the people that formed Pro Wrestling Noah. More championships than I can even think of, and just a massive impact on the wrestling industry. He was the second Tiger Mask. He was the second or the third. He was the second Tiger. He was either second or third Tiger Mask. And just one of those guys that in the 80s and 90s was just insane. He's trained by Giant Baba. I believe it's Giant Baba, and I think he trained under Dory Funk. Dory Funk Jr., I mean. And just a massive figure. Of course, one of the tragic factors of it was that he actually died in the ring. He suffered basically an internal decapitation.
That's what I was gonna ask. If he was the guy who got the decapitation from the Tiger drivers.
Yeah. At first they thought he had suffered a heart attack, but then later, when they did autopsy, they found that he had suffered an internal decapitation.
I know about this story, but I didn't know if it was him.
It just absolutely tragic. Big Daddy said Orton here, but Misawa worldwide. Yeah, I agree with that. Second Tiger Mask. Okay, he was the second Tiger Mask. I couldn't remember if he was the second or the third. Leg Kick says Misawa. I think if you're a hardcore wrestling fan, I think it's Misawa. I think if you're, largely just, United States, I think it's going to be Orton. Me personally, being, a fan, and honestly, he was a little bit before my time. I had to go back and watch some of his matches and stuff, which, dude, he reminds me, as far as just like the impact that he had on professional wrestling, he reminds me of Ric Flair. Like he's on that level, and again, like trained by some of the absolute greatest. I think he trained with Lou Thez at one point. So this dude was he was legit. And I know that a big part of the tragedy with him as well was the fact that he was hurting very badly, but because Noah was struggling, he just couldn't he couldn't bring himself to retire because he didn't know if the promotion would survive.
Yeah,
and so he just kept pushing himself, and that's part of what a lot of people believe led to his death.
He was trained along with Lou Thez, also Dory Funk Jr., Giant Baba.
Yeah, Giant Baba and Dory Funk Jr. I remember. I thought he trained with him. Let me see if I pulled up his thing here real quick. Trained by just a bunch of different people. Dick Bayer. He was the Tiger Mask 2. Had a just massive. He was another one of those guys that he started off as an amateur wrestler, like a legit grappler, and then transitioned into professional wrestling. Which for a lot of Japanese wrestlers was the way that they went. Just a massive figure in professional wrestling. But I agree with what Big Daddy said. Orton here, but Misawa worldwide.
Yeah.
But okay, guys, that is our Who Better Than Randy Orton. That was a good list. I think that was a good list this week. I think next week I'm gonna have to really dig around and see if I can find some good ones. But all right, so the drama within AEW. So as everybody knows, we all pretty much know that the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix, have not been happy with the way that they've been handled the last couple of years in AEW. The first couple of years in AEW, I think they were very happy. They were very heavily featured. They had a lot of plans for them. Unfortunately, a lot of injuries to Ray kind of derailed a lot of their plans.
Yep.
I know that I believe grand total. So they were signed on for a 5-year contract, and I believe it was 4 years with the ability to extend it a year, and which Tony took advantage of. And Ray was out. Like if you combine all of the time that he was on the shelf, I think it was close to a year. Because he's been injured 3 times.
Yes.
And the last one was the longest, I believe. They didn't like the way that they were being handled. They made plans to move. I don't think anybody was surprised by that they were going to be leaving and going to WWE. Because, like I said, everybody dreams of. Very few wrestlers aren't like this. They all dream about that WWE run. With Hunter being put in charge creatively, everything changed in WWE. They weren't being used in AEW, and they decided to make the jump. And then all hell broke loose. We had that podcast from Conan. The statement that they were definitely making the jump to WWE. WWE was already making merchandise for them. They were showing people the merchandise. Well, they were still under contract for like 3 or 4 months.
Yes.
And which I said, being completely fair and transparent, that's not the way to go about doing things. Obviously, from what we've seen, the tweets and stuff from Ray, part of that, the reason they did that is because he was pissed. And there was bad blood there. And then Tony Khan puts the kibosh on those plans by doing a WWE tactic and tacking on injury time onto Ray's contract. Penta is now done. Penta's contract is over. I believe he just appeared at a AAA event, talking about that and talking about his plans going forward. There's 2 schools of thought with him. They believe that he's going to be making his debut on the main roster here in a couple of weeks, or that he will be making his debut at the Royal Rumble. Personally, I think the impact of him making his debut at the Royal Rumble would be bigger, but they believe that's the plans for Penta right now. As for Ray, there's a lot going on there. So Ray has made a couple of tweets that has shed the light on the fact on just how unhappy and how angry they are at each other between him and Tony Khan. Ray put out a tweet stating that no one stays in a place when they receive inhumane treatment. That was a big deal. And then he added, unfortunately, due to contractual issues, I can't speak now, but I will have my time. Apparently he didn't wait because he reached out to a couple people. Some of them got to this guy named Dr. Chris Featherstone, who put out a tweet saying, I received information from an AEW source on November 20th regarding the Lucha Brothers status, but did not report on it as I was waiting for one of them to begin speaking their mind. I was told that was coming. I was also told that day that Penta's contract was soon ending with AEW. Ray Phoenix did just that, spoke his mind. So here's some of the intel I received. The alleged excuse that Tony Khan found out about the Lucha Brothers being in talks with WWE is fake news, and the real reason will be revealed. That's a bombshell, because it wasn't just fans who were saying that. I know Sean Ross Sapp was saying that the reason why Tony was upset was because they were in talk. We were talking to WWE when they weren't supposed to be. the podcast from Conan, the pictures released of the merchandise that WWE is putting together for them. That was the narrative that everybody was running with. Now, according to him, that's not true, and that there's a different reason. There's a real story behind the situation with Rey Fenix, which is a huge injustice. And then he said, expect the Lucha Brothers to go more in depth about their time, and then once they're free and clear to do so. And when they do, it's going to be ugly. Unfortunately, due to contractual issues, yeah.
Yep.
And then Ray made a comment on that post saying, "So far, the most accurate comment." Now, Ray then came out and made the statement about no one stays in a place when they receive inhumane treatment. And he followed up with that by saying that he was hurt. He was injured for months. I needed a doctor, and you ignored me for months.
He essentially confirmed what CM Punk told Ariel Helwani about his own
Right.
injury.
Now, when I heard that, I saw some other. Obviously, there's a lot of comments in there. One of the comments that I kind of agree with was the comment by Don Tony, who's another YouTuber, guy who's been in the wrestling business for a long time. Check him out, guys. He's a pretty cool dude. He said, you know what? It sucks that happened, but you waiting for them to get you a doctor doesn't make any sense. If you're hurt, you go get yourself taken care of, and then you deal with it. You deal with the logistics of it later.
Yes.
I agree with that statement 100%. It also ties into what apparently happened with CM Punk, where the situation that came out was because of miscommunication between Punk and management. And this is why I think the situation, I think that's what really set Punk off. That's what really started this situation. I think that Ray is in something similar. The way everybody else, like Punk was used to the way that WWE handled medical situations. The way WWE handles medical situations is they have a set of doctors that they have on retainer. And when somebody gets injured, they don't leave it up to the talent. They tell them, okay, they basically take care of it from the jump, saying, okay, you're going to get on a plane, you're going to fly here, and you're going to see this doctor. Okay. And then that's the way WWE handles it. They take care of it. Now, they do have a provision within WWE where there are some times when certain wrestlers are like, I have a doctor that I like for these things. I want to use that guy. And WWE is like, okay, that's fine. Go see your doctor, and then you expense the cost back to us. And that's how they handle that. Apparently, AEW is the exact opposite. The way AEW handles these things, and I'm not sure why, but I do have speculation on it. Go away. I do have some speculation on it. The way AEW handles is they let the talent go pick their doctors and go see their doctors, and then they're supposed to expense it back to AEW, and AEW will reimburse them.
Well,
If
that would make sense, like to be the case that's happening if Ray hasn't been injured before, and if he's complaining about the current one and not the previous one, then that wasn't how they were doing things before.
Well, it depends on, because I don't know, because it may be different doctors for different injuries, right? So we don't know exactly. We don't know exactly.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know exactly the exact situation.
Yes,
But
but the way he spoke makes it sound like this injury is the problem, and the others weren't. Like AEW was more involved in the other cases, not in this one.
Well, I mean, it may be, it may not. But the other thing that I found out about was that I was looking into this is AEW will take care of the situation for you, but you have to ask them to do it. Now, there's a couple of things that may be a problem with this. I don't think AEW has an actual medical division. Like WWE has a medical officer. They have somebody that takes care of these things for everybody. I don't think AEW has that. I think AEW just has their talent, take care of these medical situations for them, take care of these medical situations on their own, and then they reimburse it to a financial officer. I don't think AEW has an actual medical officer who's
Doc
right?
Samson.
Right. But that's for on site. I don't think he handles like insurance and logistics and things like that. And now I may be wrong about that, but from what I understand, one of the issues, and this has been an issue that a lot of people have talked about that AEW has, is their managerial, the executive managerial staff that they have for the company aren't exactly equipped and designed to handle professional wrestling. A lot of them are the same people that work for Shao Kahn and in their other areas for their other businesses.
I'm sorry, you have to get his name right every time you just think of Mortal Kombat. It's Shad Khan, not
Is it
Shao.
Shotgun? Oh,
Yeah,
Shotgun.
you kill
Dude,
me every time. This is too funny.
I can't. I don't know. I you know how me and names, dude. I'm
I
freaking
know,
stuck with names.
I know, but from a like a billionaire to a Mortal Kombat character, that's like a big jump.
Is it? No, that's not. No, that's
Shao Kahn.
Shao Kahn.
Shao
Yeah.
Kahn.
Is from Mortal Kombat.
I said Shad Khan.
You did not.
I meant to.
You did not.
Okay. Well, hey, finish him. So, and that's from what I understand has been one of the biggest issues that AEW has is their executive staff aren't exactly up to snuff, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people say that their production values for their shows suffer. It's one of the places where they said that they need to spend more money when they get this new contract. They need to pour more money into these things. Now I do, from what I understand is they will actually find doctors for you, but you have to ask them to do it. Then there's also the situation where,
so crazy because
these guys, Penta and Ray, they live in Mexico. There may be issues with that. There may, I think the problem is Tony Khan is trying to keep things as cheap as possible. You know what I mean? Because they did have such a limited budget.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that might be a big part of the problem, and that you would have thought that after the situation that happened with Punk, because when Punk said that in that interview, Tony came out and said, no, you should have been able to expense that back, and we should have paid for it. And if you do it now, we'll take care of it. So I'm wondering if the problem is that they don't have the right people and the right apparatus in place to take care of these things.
And that sounds crazy to me because their wrestlers are not independent contractors like the WWE ones.
What's that?
Their wrestlers are actual like employees. They're not contractors. So that sounds crazy to me that they don't have that set up.
I don't think they are actually considered employees.
Are they independent? Are they independent?
Yeah, that's the way WWE handles it.
I'm talking about
that's
AEW.
why with AEW, I think it's the same thing with AEW. I think that they have contracts, so they are contracted talent. But here's the thing: you would think after the situation that happened with Punk and how big of a deal that was, that Tony would put more attention into that and fix that apparatus.
Only way this makes sense is if they thought that the situation only got big because of the person they were dealing with. If they thought it was a big thing because it was Punk and not anything else. Yeah,
but
they were wrong.
Maybe, but at the same time, like you got to think when you have an oversight that big and with that big of a consequence, that you would take steps to make sure that it doesn't happen again. And I can't believe that these two guys are the only two people that have had these issues. It's hard for me to believe that only these two guys are the only two people that have had these issues with getting medical their medical issues taken care of. And
They
think
are
about
the-
how many
they are-
injuries there have been in AEW.
They are the two that have the foot out the door, so they don't have to worry about the injuries if I guess.
And that's
So
where
you
I
can
think,
think about it.
and that's where I think that this goes all that it also that the issue isn't just a logistical one. It's not just a personnel issue. I think this is also a personal thing. I think Tony Khan was so pissed off about it. He was just like, I'm just going to wash my hands of these guys, which is a petty thing to do. At the same time, again, like I said, I agree with Don Tony. You don't, if it's clear that they're not putting a priority on you getting the medical care that you need, you go out and you take care of it yourself, you know, and you're a grown ass man. Go take care of yourself. And then you foot the bill to them. It's like, hey, here you go. I took care of it. Give me my freaking money. And then, then you leave. So I believe that that's the inhumane treatment that Ray's talking about. And if it's, and because it sounds so eerily similar to what was happening with Punk, I have to believe that it's the same. It's basically the same issue. That there's a lack of communication, either whether it's deliberate or indeliberate. There's a lack of proper communication with the issue with this particular issue. Maybe it has something to do with language barrier. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with location. Because, like I said, they both do believe. I believe they both still live in Mexico because they've always had they have these problems with visas and whatnot. You would think that Tony Khan would take a look at this situation and take steps to correct it, and hopefully, going forward, realizes this is a situation. And I don't know why they don't just go to a system similar to what WWE has. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing: when like if you have an injury and it's like if you get hurt, like if I broke my leg, I wouldn't know the best doctor to go to in the area where I live. I wouldn't know, obviously, you're gonna want to go see a specialist. Penta lives in Mexico. Okay, Ray lives in San Diego. Well, how come Ray was having all these visa problems then? Because I know that there were 2 incidents where Ray had serious visa problems. Huh. That's interesting. But yeah, like I wouldn't know how. Like what am I supposed to do? Open the phone book and just pick one and hope to God it's the best guy? You know, why you wouldn't have some kind of and again, I don't know that AEW doesn't, but it does or doesn't, but it does sound like they don't, given these 2 incidents. If these guys, like somebody, like they should have something. It just makes more sense to me to have a system like WWE has, where you've got a set of doctors that that you trust, that you can send your talent to, and if your talent requests to use a different doctor, that they have a personal doctor, maybe Adam Cole. As many times as he's been injured, he probably got doctors on speed dial. If they want to use those guys, then you do that, and hopefully in the future they go to something more similar to what WWE had. Now, here's the question: given the situation that's happened and just how badly they have crapped the bed with this from a public relations standpoint, what does AEW do? What does Tony Khan do to alleviate this situation and move on? Because there's the argument that if he caves and he lets Ray go, that sets a bad precedent for the other talent.
He can let him go. He's still holding Rick Starks on.
Yeah. Because if he went out of the country, he wouldn't be let back in. That's why he left AAA high and dry when he was booked. Okay. I'm gonna be completely honest, dude. I don't know. I'm not 100% on how visas work. So I do know that there's a lot of intricacies to it, depending on where you're from and who you are. So just another piece of the bureaucracy that hopefully Musk and those guys fix.
Khan is damned if he do and damned if he doesn't.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, and because of that, I personally think he should just let him go and wash his hands of it. Because it's gonna suck no matter what.
At least you don't have to pay them if you let them go.
Yeah.
No, he would have to pay them.
Yeah, he wouldn't have to pay him. But you know, like I said, he needs to have somebody in there to be his right hand, so that if something occurs again, you've got somebody there that can step in and prevent it from turning into a situation like this again. As it stands right now, I think there's less damage if you just cut your losses and let them go. And then in the future, like I said, you put that person in place who can be what Cody Rhodes was for him the first couple of years, because it's clear he's just not up to the task. What do you guys think?
I don't envy his position.
Well, Mal is like screw that, hold him, hold him, F him. If he pays him, he gets to heal up. If he's so hurt and works smaller shows.
Damn.
God damn. All right. I think just because of the PR nightmare that this has turned into, and then you've got another one on looming on the horizon with Ricky Starks. I think I personally think he's better off just cutting his losses and just getting rid of him. I don't think it's doing him any favors in the locker room. And like I said, he's got another situation looming on the horizon with Ricky Starks. That's a situation I think he needs to turn attention to and really figure out.
He'll just ask his new guy, Chris Jericho, what do you want to do?
Dude, I would love to have seen where the investigation that they were looking into, that Jericho was the one that was feeding the Bucks and Hangman that BS about Punk trying to screw over Colt Cabana, and that's why they were so upset, and that's why they were so mad at him. I would love to see where that investigation went, because that, honestly, that sounds like the kind of petty crap that somebody would pull behind the scenes. Because when they first got there, everybody was fine with each other, and then all of a sudden, in span of a couple of months before that promo that Hangman cut, it just went sour. And we know how some of these guys got big egos, man. And if you go from being one of the guys that gets like a guy that's getting a lot of attention, and suddenly a guy like Punk comes in and takes all the attention away, you never know.
Well, he works out great, and then that with Punk or without Punk, now everyone is sick of him.
What was that?
Everyone is sick of Jericho now, so I guess that's justice made.
Well, a lot of that was because after Punk left, they leaned into him.
Yeah.
But
That's Jericho's Hulk Hogan.
Jeez. But what do you guys think? Are they better off cutting them loose, or like?
I would, just so I don't have to deal with him if I was in their place.
I would let him go at this point.
Yeah, I think the damage has been done. And I think at this point, you're not going to get anything out of it.
So long as he's like has a contract with me, he's my headache. He's my problem. And want to get rid of the problem right now. So.
Well, I do think that I do think that, but I also think that it is clear Tony Khan is not up to the task of being the hard-nosed boss. So he's got to bring in somebody to be a general manager for him, like a real general manager, not just like an on-screen talent, but a real general manager. He's got 2 guys right now that I think are tailor-made to do it for him. And both of them are interested in doing things behind the scenes in Danielson and Samoa Joe. I'm sure there's a couple other guys that he could probably tap for that. Copeland, like you said, might be one of those people. But I think right now the two top prospects would be one of those 2 guys. But he absolutely needs somebody like that going forward, or this kind of thing is just going to keep happening.
Yep.
Because it's clear he's just not up to the task. He's not. So, like I said, I don't like it when talent get their livelihood clipped. I don't think the Lucha Brothers went about this whole thing the right way, but at the same time, I don't think Tony Khan gets anything out of this. Holden, how many of the boys in W are home just collecting a check and nobody's crying Argentina for them? I agree. No, I agree, dude. Like, I agree.
I'm not crying with us. I think WWE is stupid for holding them home too.
Oh yeah, I agree. I don't think it's a good idea for them to tack that time on like that, unless there's like I said, unless somebody like goes down like Athena did, where she went down for almost 2 years, and you're not getting anything out of your investment. I can understand wanting to hang on to like tack some time on to try and get something out of your investment. But at this point, I think they're only tacking like 4 or 5 months onto Ray.
Yeah, but Athena wasn't looking to go anywhere. These guys already had one foot out the door and were ready to go.
Yeah. And honestly, I think, again, looking at the way Tony Khan handled things in the past, I think if they had just mind their P's and Q's, regardless of how they felt about the situation, if they had just held their tongue until they left, I don't think there would have been any problem. I think the situation with Conan running his mouth, and then Ray and Penta, Penta actually kind of was capitulatory about it. He clearly realized that they made a mistake, because he put out a couple tweets saying, "Hey, this we're here at AEW. If they need us, we're here." And but it was Ray who kind of like really started pushing the issue. But that being said, I don't think Tony Khan is getting any benefit out of keeping them there now. So I would just cut him loose. Now if he still had him there and he was using him, that's different. But he's not. So, and like you said, he's basically just paying the guy to sit. And I just think they'd be better served if they just let him go. More for Tony's benefit than Ray's. Because Ray's fine no matter what, because he's collecting a paycheck. He's collecting his paycheck. So the only thing that's hurting Ray in any way, shape, or form is they wanted to bring him and Penta in together, and now they're going to have to do them separately. Oh well, he's not hurting WWE by doing this. He's not really hurting Ray. So it's one of those things where everybody wants a simple solution to a complex problem. But I think at this point, being 6 one way, half a dozen another, just cut your losses and move on. But I'll tell you what, man, they better hope to God they don't burn their bridges in WWE, because man, if they start getting a reputation for this stuff, that's the kiss of death right there, baby. But all right, guys, I think that's it. Appreciate everybody. Man, we went way over.
That's all right.
But it's such an interesting topic to talk about, though. Because like I said, it is one of those situations where it's a more complex situation than people think it is. But I appreciate everybody that's here, everybody that's been watching. Maldacito, dude, good insight, man. Appreciate you being here, brother. You guys that have like they've been in the business and know these things, you know, that insight's invaluable to us. That helps us like really kind of like broaden the perspective and horizon. Miss Saren, appreciate you being here as well. Leg kick, Maldacito, Big Daddy, the Guardian of Chaos. Guys, go check out Big Daddy. He's the guy's a wealth of information. He's a fun, he's an entertaining guy to listen to. So go hang out with him on his channel. And everybody else that was lurking and was watching, appreciate you guys. And we will see you guys next week. We have any pay-per-views coming up?
Full Gear is when? No, Full Gear is already here. What am I talking about?
No.
World's End.
World's
you
End.
got Day One from WWE. You got World's End from AEW. You got Saturday Night's main event this Saturday.
Saturday Night's main event. That's what's coming up. Okay.
This Saturday.
Yeah, should be interesting. All right, guys. Appreciate you being here. We will catch you guys next week. Bye.